la vita da questa parte in Occidente. E tutta sta gran cosa in più rispetto alla Cina. Guarda, io ho vissuto in Cina e mi ci sono trovata da Dio. E ora come qui a Roma, a spiegarvi un po' la differenza tra i due posti. State a vedere e rimarrete a bocca aperta. Let's have a look around. This is absolutely stunning. Now, one major thing I like about living in Europe is that you feel like you fit in because of the diversity. You know, looking around here, for example, you have so many different types of ethnicities: white, black, Asian, Hispanic. And so when you're walking around, no one's going to look at you funnily. However, when I'm in China, it's predominantly Han Chinese. Now, they do have ethnicities. You can think of the Uyghur Chinese, for example. However, as a foreigner, people will look at you. Maybe in places like Shanghai, Beijing, they won't, because there are indeed a lot of foreigners. But when you'll go into these smaller cities, wow, you might be the only foreigner there. And it is strange. People will stare at you. People will ask for a photo, perhaps. I have had someone, he came up to me with a photo album and he was like, hey, I want you to be here next. I was like, okay, sure. I have had one time when I was climbing up a mountain and then this girl just turned around and shouted, why Goran? She said, I'm a foreigner. And everybody just like looked around like shocked. I think one of the main arguments that people use against living in China is that there is the lack of freedom. Whereas in reality, I feel as free as I would do living in the West. I mean, you might even have some parts where it's more free. For example, I can walk out at night, feel totally safe. I don't mind going anywhere in Shanghai, anywhere in China. I wouldn't feel threatened. Whereas in a lot of places in the UK, even in small towns, you wouldn't go down some places, it would be dangerous. So what is freedom? Is it more free to carry a firearm? Is that freedom? Okay, yeah, maybe, but I don't really carry a gun anyway. I don't do it in the UK. The UK ban this. Now, there is the issue of censorship, which is true, but it's also true for literally every single country around the world. So in the West, you might have movies, you might have books which are censored. There's even speech which is censored. If you say certain words, this is counted as hate crime. But also a lot of websites that will be censored in the UK. So you might have things about self-harm, you might have drugs, violence, these kind of things will be censored. Now, why do they do that? That's to protect society, right? And so you need to find the right balance between censorship and protecting society. And so I think where do you draw the line? I think China just does it to a greater extent. So yeah, there might be more censorship, but it's to protect the society. Not only that, I think they also do it to improve the economy, because you've got hundreds of millions of people not using Twitter, Google and all of these international social media apps, but instead they're using Chinese apps, and so these will get boosted and their revenue will be much better because you've got more people only using these. But of course there are ways to get around it, and legally as well. So I'm a student in China, and so we're actually given a VPN. A VPN is like a bypass for the Great Firewall. So we're allowed to use Google and all of these websites, and actually many companies will offer their employees these websites to perform their job, and yeah, you can do that fine. So yeah, loads of expats and many Chinese will use VPNs, and so I do think for my everyday life, do I have any less freedom than in the West? I don't think so. I think my life is the same. One thing that many people have wrong about China is a very popular stereotype is the pollution, the lack of good air, right? Now, I've only been here for 5 years, so I don't know what it was like before. I imagine it would have been much worse. But now, you know, in Shanghai, living in a big city, I genuinely can't tell the difference between here and London. There really is no difference, and especially in Rome as well. It does feel the same, the pollution. I think Beijing may be a little bit worse. You do get sandstorms, but I do know China, they are doing a lot of things to become more eco-friendly. So what you'll find is that there are pretty much no motor vehicles. They're all electric. Whereas all of the cars around here, as you can see, are fuel, petrol and diesel. And you might think, how can you make everyone buy an electric car? Well, they do something where you have to pay an extra like $1,000 if you want to have a motor vehicle. So you need to pay additional for the registration plate. Whereas if you were to get an electric car, then it would just be free. You wouldn't have to pay an extra charge. Yeah, there are electric bikes everywhere, there are electric cars everywhere. And so yeah, I really do think environment has got better than what it was before. But absolutely the best part about living in China is the sheer convenience. And I'm not just saying that because I live in Shanghai, a mega city. I'm talking on a pro rata scale. Big city with big city, small city with small city in the western China. I feel China eclipses it on every level. First of all, transportation is just way better in China. You have the high-speed rail. And I might get this wrong, this is only off the top of my head, but I think 80% of the high-speed network around the world is all in China. And so if you want to go from city to city, it's such a big country, right? You can get there really quickly. And what makes it so good is that it's extremely affordable. And actually, the rail network, they lose money every single day because of this. Why do they do that? Well, because China, they want the whole place to work together for business, right? You want the economy to open up so people can travel from Beijing to Shanghai very easily. So it's all public owned, state owned, and they're losing money, but it actually helps the economy grow because people can travel easier. And taxis as well, they're really great. If you get some taxis, they're going to be quite expensive, but if you get like a Uber, you have it as a Didi in China, that's going to be really, really cheap. So get that on your phone if you ever come to China. And yeah, they're like the cheapest in the world, honestly. You can travel half an hour and it's like $2 or $3. And also what I love, which is super convenient, is that everything just closes really late. Shopping malls, for example, they'll be open to like 10 or 11 p.m. So if you want to go for a midnight snack or something, it's just really, really great. There's loads of night markets and things like that. Whereas in the UK, things will close at maybe 5 p.m. It will be absolutely dead in the town centre. So, you know, people just want to go home in the UK after work or something. But in China, it's just, there's so many things to do at night. If you want to get something online, it can come to your door, like any kind of service you need. If something's broken in your house, someone will come and repair it literally within half an hour. That's Shanghai. Maybe it'll be different for other smaller cities, but you can get pretty much any service done. If I want to get my shoes cleaned, for example, ring someone up, or they'll come to your door, clean them for you. Amazing service. Literally anything you need, it's there for you. Now, I'll give credit where credit's due to the West, because we're seeing a lot more convenient. It's a lot more like China now, to be honest. So in a few restaurants, not all, but in a few restaurants, you can find these QR codes. It's a lot more easier now, ordering stuff. However, it is a bit of a hassle sometimes because you might have to sign up, register all of this, maybe do a survey, so it's a little bit annoying. Whereas in China, wherever you go, you just scan it, hit your food, and that's it. And another thing that I really like are these things. And they are, I think, pretty new actually. Only a couple of years they've had these for in the West. And I don't think they have them in America, let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you get them a lot in European cities. So you just, scan the code, you're good to go, zip around the city. It's a great way of public transport, you know, especially if a place doesn't have a metro or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's good if you want to have another way of transport or something, but in China I really like it because you can find them absolutely everywhere. So if you're in a really small city and, you know, maybe there is no subway, then it's a great way to just go on one of these. I know in Paris actually that I heard this, that they banned these bikes because they don't like them being scattered around the city. It doesn't look very nice. I mean, yeah, I can kind of understand that. There could be hundreds of them on the paths and it's really annoying to get around. You might have to walk on the road sometimes in China, but I think just for the pure convenience, I love them, and I think a lot of people do as well. Now, sports in China I would describe as Olympic sports. That's what's popular, you know. Table tennis, badminton and volleyball. I think they're most popular during the Olympics. Whereas in the West, sports like this are more popular. You can see the atmosphere is absolutely electric. Look at this. Whereas if I were in China, the stadium would be a third full. It wouldn't be as energetic and intense as this. Because although a lot of people in China watch football, a fraction of them watch Chinese football, and even fewer will play football. Whereas in the West, practically all of us play it, practically all of us watch it. And so I think that's where the difference lies. It's very much a cultural thing. But when it comes to the Olympics, China just obliterates everybody else. There we go then, guys. That's just my experiences. It'll be different for different people, of course, but if you have anything else you want to add, please leave a comment below and I'm happy to reply to it and comment as well. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.